Hey guys, this is James from TeaDB bringing you InBetweenIsode number 39. So today I am actually just finishing up my pound cake from last week. It hasn't been steeping for a week, I'm just filming this back to back. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk to you guys, and this is one of our frequently asked questions. But I'm going to address it a little bit more specifically. It's just like, what sites do you recommend? People are always asking us what vendors you recommend and stuff like that. But that's for a different time. What websites do you recommend? And I'm going to talk about this specifically towards Pu'erh. And I have a Google Doc open right in front of me right now with a list of 6 sites that I would say probably if you are really interested in getting into Pu'erh and nerding out about Pu'erh, and you know there's some more that are worth reading for sure, maybe some of them are inactive or whatever, and these are specifically blogs that people talk about. So the first one, which will probably be no surprise to most people that know me or whatever, is Marshall's site, marshallin.com. He's been talking about tea forever. It's not specifically about Pu'erh, but there's so many different concepts. He has a background sort of as being from Hong Kong, and so, I mean, he has, I guess what some people would describe as biases that tend him towards that. But we all have certain biases, and for the most part, I find his blog, some people complain that he's a dick, whatever. His blog is very informative, really worthwhile, worth reading. He's been blogging forever. He still manages to do maybe a post a month. He used to be very prolific back in the day, but his site is worth coming over the archives, looking at all the random tags. If you want to learn about Tetsubins, Yixing, Pu'erh, H-Dulongs, his site is really just fantastic for all of those things. If you're more interested in getting reviews on specific teas, then I guess the number one Pu'erh site that you should go to is half-dipper.blogspot.com. He's been reviewing Pu'erhs far before I even started drinking tea remotely seriously. I think he started his site in 2006 or 2007. Lots and lots of different teas that take you through multiple different eras of just Pu'erh. Pu'erh has been very dynamic, so it's always interesting to go back and take into and it's one thing I would also mention is that really take into account the date that it was posted. Like in 2007, 2008, 2009, there was an unusually high amount of yet just young Pu'erh being consumed, so you can read through some of that. Some of the teas are interesting. Like I was just reading his review probably for the 4th or 5th time on the Haiwan Pasha, which is a tea that's still available but has gone way up in price, so always interesting to go back, look at prices, look at his notes for Yunnan sourcing stuff, look at his notes for Essence of Tea Productions, and that kind of thing. Just a very good review blog, and he still is. He's been a little bit slow in the past month, but I'm trusting that he's going to be very consistent in the future as well. And in the vein of review blogs, there's also jacobtomek.blogspot.com. He reviewed Pu'erh. He still does on occasion, but he was especially prolific in around 2012. He knows Half Dipper, which is Hobbs, in person as well, so they get tea together in the UK. And so there's also lots of, in a similar vein, you can revisit how many times have we, Siwan remarked to me the other day, how many times we've gone back and read the old Half Dipper, Marshallin, or Jacob reviews, and many a time is correct. And a few more, deathbytea.blogspot.com, that's Siwan's blog, of course. She started blogging maybe just a year ago, but really a great writer, really interesting stuff. She probably doesn't, she's really interested in crock storage and stuff like that. She, similar to TeaDB, I would say, she hasn't been drinking tea as long as someone like Marshall or Hobbs and stuff like that. So it's been fun to be sort of on this journey along with her. And that's not to speak poorly about how much she knows or anything like it. She deeply really loves Pu'erh, and definitely is very smart and knows her stuff. There's also Tea Closet, which is Hster, which is kind of an interesting blog in the sense that she blogged in 2007, 2008, and then kind of came back in 2012. So she's had moments of prolificness, followed by long hiatuses. But there's also a lot of interesting stuff there, especially sort of a cautionary tale towards young Shang and the stomach. Probably a good thing for me to revisit as I sip down these 2015 productions. And there's also the only vendor blog that I would probably recommend the first at least is Two Dogs blog, twodogtblog.com. He's not the most prolific writer or anything like that, but you're pretty much guaranteed 7 or 8 really good, interesting posts that someone that's only a vendor could really do, giving you stuff like 2015 spring Yunnan reports and stuff like that. Like, I'm not there. None of these other people that I just listed are in Yunnan during that time. So just a lot of good stuff. Good guy as well. And yeah, let me know if I missed anything. I'm sure there are. You kind of have to cut these lists off at a very arbitrary point most of the time. But these are all blogs that are definitely on my Feedly, my reader that I subscribe to. So, and if I see a post by any of them, it's pretty much immediately, oh, I'm going to go read this post now. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know how you like the format of this episode. Next week, I think I will be bringing on the 2015 Last Thoughts and doing a bit of an extended episode similar to the 2014 one. So I think it will be a really interesting experiment to just sort of compare notes, do my thoughts for another year as well. So thank you guys for watching, and cheers.